There is nothing wrong with our food. There is nothing wrong with our culture. There is nothing wrong with our way of life. As Africans, there is nothing wrong with you. I've been watching a lot of food content and content creators that cook food, and when it's time for them to serve food, rather than serve it like we serve food in Africa, Africans like to think that our food, our life, our culture, our mannerism, even our language, our presentation of things, it has to match the way the white man says things. Africans have this mindset. That's why I said, as Africans, we need education. As Africans, we like to think the white man has the perfect way of living life. They don't. You don't understand? They don't. I have a bunch of friends that are Caucasians. Caucasians are those in the United States. And then I have a bunch of them from Europe, from absolute money, wealth. I have a bunch of Asian friends like Chinese, Japanese, friends from Thailand. These guys are absolute rich, but they embrace their culture and their way of life. It is very, very common for Africans not to be proud of where we come from. When I was in secondary school, our teacher used to beat us for speaking our native language. She's fond of saying, they are fond of saying, we are speaking vernacular. As far as I'm concerned, the best system of education in Africa should be, we are being taught in our native language. Like Nigeria, for example, I strongly believe that if you come from Yoruba land, it should be compulsory for you to learn another language, probably Igbo or Hausa, one of those two. It should be compulsory. You know, this is how you build an economy. All my friends that are Caucasians and Europeans, none of them know how to use cutleries. They don't. This is not some movie where every white man knows how to use fork and knife and position. Oh, this is how you hold a glass cup. I don't know all these things. Are you going to say I'm not for money? Or that, okay, I was born in poverty or something? We have our way of doing things. My guy that is Indian, his family are like billionaires. He does not know how to use any cutlery. I saw him eat food once. Aramide Mashoni. Guess his most comfortable way of eating food is to eat food on the floor. Billionaire. You don't understand. It's only Africans that will start making money and think that, okay, he has to be bougie to show that, okay, oh, this is how white people live life. White people do not live their life like that. They don't, for nothing. Like why would they live like live like that? And behaviors like this, it translates itself into a different spectrum of our life. You don't understand. There's a lot of development going on in Africa right now. In tech, in manufacturing, development across all 54 countries. And it is for the taking. And I've been reading about all these things, reading about the companies, where the principal of that company is. Surprisingly, 90% of them are expatriates. They are foreigners. Foreigners are the ones that are investing heavily, that are gambling into the economy, because it is going to happen eventually. What are you doing? My advice to you is this. Embrace where you are from. It is a flex. As Africans, we like to think, okay, when you start acting like a white man, okay, then the white man will see you like a contemporary. It even goes into our religion. It is very, very common for people that practice Islam, Muslims, to think they understand the Quran and the way of Rasulullah better than people from Saudi Arabia. If you've ever met them, I did a lot of business with these guys. These guys are racist. I mean, you don't understand? All these Saudi Arabians, they are racist. They don't see you as anything. Every year, they make billions of dollars because of pilgrimage. People coming into their country for excursion. It is excursion. You living in Lagos, when was the last time you took an excursion to Abuja? When was the last time you took an excursion to Ghana to go and see their world, to understand how it is, to know their religion, to know their people, to understand their food? Lie. As a matter of fact, it is very, very common for African men to see that, okay, once they explore the lifestyle and the culture of other people, They see that, okay, I have won in life. I know people that they saw it as a win. That, okay, at least in this life, they have to go to Saudi Arabia one time. It's very, very common for Christians to pray to go to Jerusalem. It is an excursion. It is an excursion. It's just like traveling from Minnesota to New York to go and see the Allah. Otiton, period. All I'm trying to say is, know your culture, embrace your culture. Nobody is embracing other people's culture before their own. It is only Africans. Only Africans. It's very, very common for an African man to speak English like he knows English better. Myself, I'm very, very guilty of this. You know, when I first moved to Minnesota in 2018 from Texas, I used to tell my classmates that are Caucasians that I speak better English than them. Imagine a white man telling me, you know, he understands English and my culture better than me. That is, would I call that ignorance? Even if you do, can't you see my complexion? Are you dumb? So, your way of eating food, your way of drinking, your dress code, it is who you are. Embrace them. Be proud of who you are. From that perception, when you start doing this, then you can trust your own economy. People from Africa do not care to gamble or invest into that economy because they believe Africa is dead already, man. If Africa is dead, what happened to those thousands and thousands of people that are pumping billions of dollars into that economy and they are preparing for 10, 20 years into the future? What happens to them? Are you telling me that those guys don't know what they are doing? Be careful, my good friends. Be open-minded. Be open-minded. Embrace who you are. Then people will respect you. All around the world, nobody respects Africans. You don't understand. Nobody. Even all these so-called Muslim leaders in all these countries that we have adopted, they don't see us as anything. Not to talk of a white man who are Caucasians and Europeans. They don't see us as anything. And it's very common for Africans to look down on other Africans. Like, look at this one. Look at the way this one is talking. People from Lagos will look down on people from Ibadan because they have accents. People from Ibadan will look down on people from Ekiti because they have foreign accents. It is very, very common on this social media for people to try and correct people on how to pronounce things. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I have friends that are Chinese from absolute wealth. They have their way of doing things. These guys don't even eat food with cutleries. And there are moments where they invite me to their house. They understand. They don't even give me chopsticks. Me, I don't use chopsticks. For what? I'll use fork. You understand? I'll use fork. And there are moments, if I know, if I'm comfortable with them, I use my hand most of the time. Because it's part of who we are. That's my culture. When I invite them to my place and I want them to get comfortable, I'll get chopsticks and give to my Asian friends. I will not give them spoon and expect them to automatically know how to use fork and knife. Like, this is the type of training I'm talking about. You need to have these things. Be well.